So yeah, if you guys want to unmute, say hi, hello, Vanny, Judith, Arabella, Edwin, Gfrim, Emmanuel, a lot of cool people here. We have Lucas as well, and Oscar and Love. Well, I hope you're all doing great. Judith is in the beach, so she does look like she's doing great. And I should be in the beach as well because here it's crazy hot today and lately. Um, but yeah, let's start, guys. So today is gonna be monthly reports, just for a little introduction for everyone who's new or anyone who will be watching later on YouTube. The Open All Lands is the place for governance, is the place where we come together as a deep funding community to discuss the work of the circles, to discuss how we can improve deep funding and make things better. But it's open for everyone. So if you're a community member, if you want to get involved or just learn about what's happening, you should come here and watch, participate, and be part of this amazing decentralized community. And today we have monthly reports. So it's that awesome day of the week or of the month, let's say, when we go and see the amazing efforts the hubs are putting, the circles are putting every week. And yeah, and we just learn about all the efforts that are going in the different areas. To start, today we have a little icebreaker. Priscilla, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Right, awesome. So I'll let you take over and yeah, and just break the ice.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the town hall. And for today, our icebreaker is so simple. I'm sure you guys can see.
Sorry. This is the all lands, Priscilla.
Oh, sorry. See, I'm so engulfed with the idea of the town hall that I literally forget. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, the open or hand, sorry. And for our icebreaker today is so simple. So here we have the questions, and pardon me, my camera is off. My network is messing up. If I'm to turn it on, everybody will freeze on my screen. So yeah. So we would like you guys to give answers to this. The first one, there are 10 fishes in a tank. 2 drown, 4 swim away, and 3 die. How many are left? You could put the answer in the chat and then we could see. It's unfortunate I can't see the chat number. Yeah. And the second one, what comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years? So you could have the answers coming in, not necessarily in an order, but you could give like maybe question 1, this is the answer. Question 2, this is the answer. Question 3, there are 30 cows in a field, 28 chickens. How many didn't? So you could put the answer by the question number. So we take it up from the I've stopped sharing so I could see the chats because
No,
this
you need to
riddle
keep
can
sharing
be
or
very
people will forget the answer the questions.
Oh, but when it happens that way, I can't see the chats though.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Let me
Just
share one more time
you
for
want
you
me to
guys
share?
to see.
You want me to share, Priscilla? Just send it over to me and I'll do it.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. I'm sending it to you now.
All right, but meanwhile, if you want to go through the chat, please do. And yeah.
Yeah, so people can see it now, right? Can you guys see it?
Yes. Yes, we
Yeah,
can. So
yeah.
you want me to go through the chat for you?
Yes,
Uh,
yes. That would be cool. Ooh,
so can you share it again? So we have Robel saying 1 is 7. All right, interesting. Vanny says 2, the letter M. Okay. Kojo says
yes, Vani,
10.
you're correct.
Okay. And Tony
Vani, you're
also
so
said
correct.
the letter N, and Ubio and Kojo. And question 3, Ebenezer says 10. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, and Emmanuel said 7, the letter M, 10. And
Well, you are wrong. It's not 7. The question 1 is not 7.
These questions are too hard, Priscilla.
No, they actually is to make you
I'm joking.
think
Yeah, yeah.
outside. So,
Can
but
you
I
share the
think
screen again? Oh, yeah.
yes, I think most people have gotten the answers right, and that is really impressive.
Well, Judith is saying that if they are in the tank, all of them are still there, either floating dead or swimming alive, but still there. Can fish
Oh well,
drown? A good question from
yeah.
Danny.
So
I
so the
don't
first
know.
one,
Doesn't make sense that they could, but who knows?
yeah. So the first one, there are 10 fishes in a tank, 2 drown, 4 swim away. We know that fishes don't drown because they live in the water, right? So we still have the 10 fishes because none is going anywhere. They are in a tank. They are not, it's not like they are in a lake that they are moving. They are in the tank, so they are still in the tank. So we still have the 10 fishes, right? That is for question 1. And question 2, what comes once in a minute? So for this one, it doesn't have anything to do with time. It has to do with the spelling of the minutes. So we have 1 M in the minutes and we have 2 M in moments, but we don't have M in the word thousand, right? I hope you guys are getting it. And then the last one, there are 30 cows in a field. So on the field, there are 30 cows, 28 chicken, meaning 2 ate chickens, right? And then how many didn't? So meaning we have only 28. So it means there are 30 cows, but we have only 2 eating chickens. I don't know if you guys understand what I mean. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So the answer for number 3 is 10. Do you understand? So 20 from the 30, they ate the chicken. I'm
Okay.
not getting the reaction that I wanted to get, but all the same, it's fine. I'm the only one kind of enjoying the riddle,
I hope
not the
you're
rest.
looking at the comments. You're getting a reaction in the comments. The party is in the
Oh,
comments.
okay. Yeah, I can see it now. I can see it now.
This is a comment icebreaker.
Oh, thank you guys for participating. Well done. And we hope to see you guys again for the icebreaker session in the next town hall.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Priscilla.
Thank you.
Love is so lost. Well, well, now that you've learned so much valuable information, we can go on with with this open all ends and start with the reports. Jan is looking very serious from his side of the screen, so I'll go right into the report before Jan kills me with his eyes. And to start, we have randomized the reports for today, and the first ones will be the IT circle. And I believe for the IT circle, we'll have Edwin. Is that correct? Are you here,
Yeah,
Edwin?
you'll be having me.
Yes. All right, awesome. Do you
Yeah.
want me to share the screen? Do you want to share the screen yourself?
No, absolutely. Don't need that. Let's share for me.
All right, awesome. Let me just get the sharing working. Oh, cool glasses.
I don't know where this avatar came from, but anyways.
I think this is it. I have too many screens open, so oh no, this is not it. I just did a Jan. I just had a Jan moment in my in my Zoom. All right, so let me. All right, this is it. Now it's correct. Right, can you all see the screen, or at least you, Edwin?
Yeah.
Fantastic, awesome. So please enjoy yourself. And it's a shame that
Oh,
you removed the glasses.
I don't want to be looking all weird. Anyways, hello. So this is our monthly report for July. The first one we have is we looked at basically our documentation as a whole, based on what we call it, based on the support tickets we've been having and everything. We looked at what really people were struggling with and pain points, and we sort of adapted some of our documentation in terms of the tutorials and the videos and everything, the walkthroughs out there, and we got that out. So that was a new initiative that stemmed from our support ticket. So you scroll down, yeah, we are still having ongoing IT support, which is a regular event, and it helps people. It helps to make things simpler for people, it answers people's questions, and alleviate all pain points in tool usage. Then we look at system maintenance and our DevOps culture, whereby we make sure we don't have downtimes on systems. We make sure our backups and everything is on point, and our recoveries are just on point. Scroll down further. Yeah, so I think the new initiative for the next year will be the community tax board, where we sort of are still working on, where we can shed tax that circles might not have the capacity to take on to the community. So we are looking at that currently at the moment. I think we are finalizing things, and we should have something out there soonest. Yep, I think it's a brief one. That's it. Any question?
And once again, I was muted. All right, Edwin, thank you so much. Straight to the point and good summary. It reminds me of the last presentation on Alpha Yearly Report, where you just take like 5 minutes to say everything. Are there any questions for Edwin? Any comments? Anything anyone wants to add?
No, but could you link the link to the document here in the chat?
Yes, I can. So no questions. All right. So I guess if there's no questions, I'll put the link in the chat, and I will go for the next circle. And the next circle will actually, thank you so much, Edwin, by the way. And the next circle will actually be the event circle. So I guess I don't, I just need to keep talking. Let me share it again with you. Yeah, and we have here a month that was a pretty full month. But yeah, we started with some improvements and refinements in the reporting process for the community hubs, because we gathered feedback from the reviewers and everything, and we did some improvements just to make everything more understandable and a little bit also faster. And yeah, we'll try to keep improving and to reduce the time to review the milestones so that we can create a really efficient process. As I mentioned already in the yearly report, during the previous month, we started with a new division of responsibilities and a new internal process where each of the members of the hubs will now be responsible by one major task. IO is open all ends, Mariam Twitter Spaces, Victor metrics and processes, and Priscilla town halls, and I will be community hubs. So yeah, we have high expectations for these. There might be we need to adapt, but I think it's going well. After the first weeks, it's improving. Then we had the development of the community hub dashboard. We've been working with data analytics on these, and we've also had some feedback for improvements. Edwin made some great progress as well with that, and we are increasingly closer to have a final dashboard that we can share with everyone. Then we have the preparation for the spaces. That's something we did during the previous month. We also had technical issues with Twitter permissions for the first space, and we've taken new measures to avoid that. And created a process that should be, after we simplify it, it should go onto the DF book for everyone to see. After that, we've carried our regular events, open all lands and town halls, always trying to innovate a little bit. And IU, of course, as I mentioned, he went to represent the event circle at the AI for Good Summit. together with Andrea, Ubiuham, and Judith. I think it was something amazing, so worth to mention. And finally, this was more recent. We have, yes, Monday, we've hosted the first DF Twitter space. Thank you, Jojo, for being the guest. And I think it went really well. We had around 105 attendees in the space. And yeah, we have plans to keep doing it and to see the impact and how much we can reach new people through this initiative. That's it for the event circle. Questions? Remarks, anything? I cannot see you while I'm sharing the screen. I don't know why Zoom has changed a little bit, but I guess nobody has anything to say. Everyone is very silent today. They just speak in the comments.
I was double tasking and looking at the dashboard that Analytics created. I thought maybe it would have been nice to show it here as well, but
yeah, we just want to get it ready to show it. So the dashboard will have a general page, front page with all the hubs, and then we'll have individual page for each of the hubs. We have done good progress in the general one, but for the individuals, we are still working out the details. Yeah, it should be close to be ready sometime soon. And then we also have dummy data right now, and we want to populate it with the real data afterwards, potentially before sharing it.
maybe I can add to this on the topic of community hubs that we are developing web pages for these community hubs, and we're quite advanced. There's a meeting on it tomorrow, I believe, as well. So we need content in for that. But yeah, I think if we will have the content created fast, which will probably be a challenge, but yeah, then we could have that live in as soon as 1 or 2 weeks already. Probably will take a little bit longer, but yeah, will be a very great thing to have on our website as well.
Yeah, and I think also the potential to integrate some of these metrics in the dashboard with the website, or
Yeah.
maybe put a link or something. It's actually one of the things I'll mention during that call. I think that would also be very interesting so people can see the impact. But yeah, in terms of populating, I think we'll rely on the hubs for doing that. So let's see what is there, how fast they will be doing it, right? But yeah, thanks, Jan, for adding even more things. Hey, Fanny, you have your hand up. Thank you for
Yeah,
speaking.
just wondered in your first Twitter space, how many people-ish did you get? I wasn't able to make it, so I was just
Yeah.
curious.
So 105, sorry. 105 attendees overall. All right, awesome. So now, if there's no more questions or remarks, we'll move to the data analytics circle. And I think it's Oscar. Oscar, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You want
Could
me
you
to
please make
share?
me co-host so I share my screen? I'd like to
You prefer
share.
to share yourself. All right, let me see if I can find you. I see you big here, but I need to find your small version for some reason so I can give you the permissions, and Zoom just changed for some reason. All right. You're good to go.
Okay, awesome. Hello, everyone.
Wait a minute. If you're gonna, now we can see it. It was
Okay.
still loading.
Okay, that's perfect. So I would like to share with you one of the dashboards that we created in regards to our social media engagements and findings too as well. So we'll be having a look at the Telegram report for June as against May. So over here we have the some KPIs, that is the total messages. We have the total replies, unique users, so on and so forth. So then we can also filter by the day of the week too as well, to see on which day that we had some engagements too as well. So we just filter through and it can just show you the type of engagements that happen on those days too as well. You can also filter by the month too, to see what happened individually on the month. And we also have the peak hour to see which hour engagements happen most. So Over here, we can have the complete KPIs of May as against June. So with the keywords mentioned, with the orange signifying the May and the purple signifying the June as well. Over here too, we have the total messages over time. So this is it shows the spike in messages from 1st May as against to like 30th June. So we see how trends of messages are across different days. So we can also see the percentage change in total messages over time. So we can see that there was a drop in messages in like 38.31% as against May, what is June. And for total messages too as well, so you can see June performed quite poorly as against May, and I think all the days of the week except I think Monday. So we still have Friday, which is our days of having most engagements on our Telegram page. And over here too, we have the percentage change in messages too as well for June against May. And over here, we have the engagement quality ratio for June against May too as well. So we can have the emoji per messages, the links per messages, replies per messages trend, the messages per average user, and the key user per messages too as well. So they are all over here. These are for June, and these are for, these are for May, and these are for June too as well. All right. So now let's go to the report. So I run you through what we've been doing over the past month. So we've collaborated with the marketing circle to refine some strategies in regards to how messages are being posted on our social media, and also how we can also improve engagement on the website too as well. So we also conducted a monthly performance analysis on all the 4 social media platforms, which is the Twitter, LinkedIn, Telegram, and YouTube. And we compared how the June engagement fared against May. So we created several community hub dashboards too as well, which includes the On-Chain Asian Hub, the Agrotech Hub, the SNET Latin Hub, the African Women in AI. And also, we also built a complete dashboard to connect all these individual dashboards together to make it one. So we also analyze usability testing surveys responses on the open project survey data to uncover certain pain points, and also the engagement trends for products and for community engagement as well, and also improvement. And lastly, we reviewed the current voting system. So we are evaluating the wallet balance effect on proposing fair alternatives, such as the reputation weight voting. And also we completed the first half of 2025 payment analysis. And also we built data pipelines for the community hub dashboards too as well. Yes, so that is all for the analytics circle. Any question?
Well, I think the last topic, I mean, all the topics are interesting, but the last topic is also really interesting. So, are you guys gonna present something on these, or what is the idea? Or
Are you talking about the current voting systems and
Yeah.
evaluating the wallet balance? Yeah, so we are currently working on refining the current procedure that we have in place. We are not yet done. We are still working on it. And when we are done, we'll share our findings with everyone. Yes.
Okay, that's really cool. Whenever you're ready, would love to have it. I think it would be an interesting topic for a
Sure.
town hall or an all ends. So,
Sure.
yeah. Rubio, please. And I.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this clear. Is this so maybe you can just give us a little bit more explanation on this whole reviewing of the voting system, maybe what it is, because I think I'm understanding it quite differently. I'm trying to understand, are you reviewing the current system? Are you proposing something new? How is this, how does this link up with what was done by the Fortrek team? Is that also part of the analysis? Sorry, like there's just a lot on my head, so I think probably an in-depth explanation would be a little bit helpful.
Okay, so we are not bringing up something new. We are just reviewing the current process that we have. So we are trying to see how the weight of the balance would affect a voter if they are known, if they are being told before that, okay, so before you vote, this is the weight of your balance, how it's going to affect your vote. And also, if they are not being told, how it's going to affect it after they vote. And also, we are trying to find a middle ground where everyone is given an equal opportunity to like vote too as well, so that people with a very high balance will not overshadow people with like very low balance. So it's like a test and also a simulation to be run to further, buttress that point. Yeah. So we are not creating something new. No.
Right. Ubia, does that clarify your question?
Yeah, for time, let's pass.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Vanny, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I kind of was going to ask the same thing as Ubio, but I'm still not quite following. As I understood it, it had been decided that in Deepfunding Round 5, Photrex algorithms are going to be used, and so that is already like supposed to be in place next time as an attempt to do the things that you're suggesting. So I guess I'm a bit, are you kind of suggesting other measures other than those algorithms that Photrex proposed?
Yeah,
And
so
which
as I said earlier,
I-
we are just reviewing them. It's not like we are bringing up something new. It's just a revision of them. So
yeah,
we are
but
going to
I'm
take,
just not clear what it is that you're reviewing. Are you reviewing how those algorithms will work? Because they've never actually been used, have they? Yet.
yes, yes, they haven't been used. But as I said, the current system have been put in place. I mean, we have three methods, as you know, the pairwise, the graded, and also the quadratic voter. So the improvement we want to do over here is to see how the weight of a balance of a voter will actually affect the total overall voting. And if
Okay,
we're
because
also,
I thought that analysis had already been done. Didn't Israel do that? Looking at what the results of the previous funds vote would have been if the vote track algorithms had been in place.
yes, he did something on that. So I'm just building on that. With this, we are doing something quite different. As I said, we are seeing what we are doing right now is seeing how we will improve on the weight of the balance, how it's going to affect. That one wasn't made earlier. I think with that one, an equal token was distributed for everyone. But what we are doing right now is trying to improve on how the weight of a balance would affect voters or the outcome of votes.
Okay, yeah, Oscar, I think to be fair, like I said, I just want to pass for want of time. What I think is quite not clear. Maybe there is a way you can explain this better. The more you explain, the more I'm getting confused. I think at one point you're saying you're not doing anything. At another point, you're saying you want to improve. And if you're going to be improving something, it means you're adding to what has already been done. It's actually something new. Like I'm sorry, I don't know, but I think maybe this can be explained better or to give clarity better.
Hello, Edwin. I think Edwin would like to add on to that point. So,
Yeah.
Edwin.
So let me clarify. So what we Portrait have is yes a voting system. Now we are looking at three systems. We are looking at the quadratic voting, we are looking at the pairwise voting, and we are looking at the score voting. We are looking at three different voting systems and how they will stack against each other through simulation. So basically, that's what we are looking at.
Right, thanks, Adrian. Ubiovane, does that clarify some of your questions? Hopefully the silence is a yes.
Yeah, for me a little bit. So I'm just so you're kind of comparing the different systems and you're using also you're checking it out with pairwise voting, the as was used in the BGI Nexus.
BGI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Edwin, for the clarification. Thank you, Oscar, for the whole presentation and all the topics you've put here. And yeah, it looks like you are working on really cool things. Well, if there are no more questions for the data analytics circle, I think we can move on. And we'll move on to the onboarding circle where we should have Love presenting, I believe. Love, are you here?
Hey, Rafael.
Hey, do you want me
Everyone.
to share the screen, or do you want to be the one sharing?
I think I'll share the screen myself.
All right, let me just find you. This is so weird. I need to figure out what better way do they have. All right. It's working. You should be
Okay.
able to share.
Please, can you guys see my screen?
It's still loading on my side. Now it's good. Now it's good.
Okay, so from the onboarding cycle perspective, we had a new insight this month. And while we're in the process of restructuring our recruitment process as a whole, we noticed that there's a lack of this recruiter stroke onboarder role in each circle, and that it might be something that we need to streamline the process. So the idea is that different circles who fancy this suggestion could appoint someone to be responsible for managing recruitment, communicating with applicants, and supporting new members to onboard. Although on reflection, this could actually be folded into the body stroke mentorship role for new members. And we, the onboarding circle, have been advocating for this because we think leaving it to circle coordinators isn't optimal. And they already have loads of work to do. And it also embeds onboarding in every circle. And this could be the person we, as the onboarding circle, would liaise with to get an idea of how onboarding processes are going for each circle, identify any problems, and the rest of it. So, having it as a specific role could actually help someone in each circle transition from entry level tasks to more responsibility. And so, in line with this, we have started contacting circle coordinators to ask them what they think about role descriptions. New members. So, we'd like to inform everyone that Arabella and Vicky have completed their trial and they are officially members of the onboarding circle. Arabella and Vicky, welcome, ladies. We are actually very happy to have you with us. And we are also in the process of finalizing our documents on the trial period, and we'll share it with everyone as soon as it is ready. New initiative. So we have started collating responses from circle coordinators regarding the descriptions within their respective circles. The goal is to make the application process more targeted and support clearer onboarding and recruitment practices across the funding ecosystem. It would also give people clarity on what's expected and how they can contribute to a circle in their own way. There is a link to what we've started, and I'm going to share it in the chat in a minute. And that's it from the onboarding circle. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Love. Any questions for Love, or for the onboarding circle as a whole? Also, Love, I don't know if they're ready, but if your new members would want to introduce themselves, would love to hear them. Just an hello.
I'm not actually sure. Arabella and Vicky, do you guys want to say hi? I don't know how they feel about it, to be honest.
If it's too much pressure, no problem. But yeah, it's just nice to hear the new voice. Kojo agrees. Nice, Kojo.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Arabella. Welcome.
Okay,
Welcome to Deepfunding.
thank you.
All right. Thank you for saying hi.
Do you mind telling us where you're from or something, Arabella?
I think I have introduced myself before.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I'm from Ghana.
All right, nice meeting you.
Oh, nice meeting you too.
Kojo is asking in the chat. I don't know if it's too much, but he's asking what are your hobbies?
Okay, I love cooking.
Okay, that's good.
Reading
for Arabella.
and spending time with family.
All right, pretty good, pretty good. Thank you so much, Arabella.
You're welcome.
All right, I don't know if Vicky is shy or if she's here also.
I think Vicky's a bit quiet, so you might not hear from her today.
Okay. Hopefully in the future. Hopefully in the future. All right. Thank you so much, love, and thank you to the onboarding circle and to Arabella. And if there, I don't cook that much, Miriam, to be honest. Yeah, let's move on to the next circle, and it should be the marketing circle, and I believe we should have Andrea.
Hi, Rafael. Yes, thank you. Do
You
you
want to
have
share? Do you would like me to share?
I'm not sure if you have the document.
Okay, so I don't know if I have the most up-to-date document. So yeah, you're a co-host already, I think, no? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can. Can you see my screen and yourself?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Perfect. So for July, the content calendar update will be the first topic. It has been a valuable tool for the circle. It has helped us to stay organized, meet deadlines, and ensure timely publication. We are still modifying, modifying and working on some adjustments on the document, but this setup supports transparency and provides a clear overview of progress and completed tasks. Up to today, we have more clarity over what tasks are pending, and it's been really helpful. The next one is the SSOT campaign. First, I'm gonna go to the last one. So we have a new team, as I mentioned in the last meeting. It's called the Internal Communications Team, and the team was created to improve clarity and coordination across the circles, because we are in communication with IT operations and anyone else that needs to inform anything to the circles. So the initiative emerged from the need to better manage updates, announcements, and important information coming from these circles that I mentioned. Currently, Beatrice is leading, Robert is part of the team, and myself. So with Beatrice taking the lead on campaign creations, we have dedicated a task list separate from the one we already have for the marketing circle, for the strategy that we came up with. So hopefully this help us to create better, coordinate better these internal communication tasks. So one of the campaigns that Bea is currently working on is a single source of truth shared by Rafael Presa. The campaign promotes regular documentation reviews, discourages duplication, and improves access to information. So the idea is to make awareness in the first 2 weeks. We have started already. Then the idea is to for the circles to adopt what we are sharing with them. And finally, we are planning to reinforce everything that has been shared. That's the goals of the campaign. And well, this document was supposed to be presented 2 weeks ago, I think. So that's the reason it says last week, but it was the week of the AI for Good Summit. So the marketing circle created and carried out a campaign, and a special thanks to Gael because he played a key role in making it happen. He was managing and coordinating the campaign, the posting. He was receiving the pictures and the videos, and he and the team were working together to create reels, well, not reels, short videos and posts, as well as polls. The campaign included targeted messages and content designed to engage new audiences. So we actually sent out two posts looking for partnerships or developers or people interested in getting funded. Up to today, that's all. I think like most of what we've been doing has been shared on the half-yearly report. So that's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Andrea. Any questions? Any remarks for Andrea or for the marketing circle? I see, I hear a lot of silence, so I guess no remarks and no questions. All right. Well, thank you so much, Andrea. It was very interesting, very informative, and that's probably why there's no questions. So yeah, thank you, and I guess we'll move on to the next circle. And for the next circle, we have the BizDev circle, that will be presented by Judith, I believe. Judith, are you there? Yes, you are.
Yes.
Looks
Yeah.
windy. Do you want me to share
Yeah.
the screen or
No, it's
YouTube?
fine. Do you want me to go inside or like it's the wind really? Like, can you hear
No,
the
we
wind
can hear
or?
you well. Yes, we can hear
Okay,
you
cool.
well.
Yeah. So BizDev had a really good month. So this was the first month that we actively engaged in partnership outreach. By the way, we're still a work group. We're not a circle yet. But the first most significant thing, I suppose, we've done was two of the business development members attended the AI for Good conference in Geneva, where we went partnership scouting. We engaged in a lot of networking. We actually set up a lot of one-on-one meetings with potential partners. It was so exciting. We had so many great conversations about what Deepfunding can offer and what the partners can offer and how we could possibly cooperate with each other. We had a great time. And what was really cool was also that the BizDev work group, I mean, it's a fairly new work group, so we're fairly new to working with each other. For example, Rama joined. I had never worked with Rama before, and to meet him in person and just work towards our shared goals there, it was just so much fun. It was a great experience, and we're really getting along great. And I think so far the work group, although it's just 3 of us, so far we're working really well together. The second thing we've done was after the conference, we started the rather painful task of collecting all these leads that we had in WhatsApp and LinkedIn and Instagram via text messages written on pieces of paper. We really had contacts everywhere. We started consolidating them and starting the follow-up conversations, which is a lot of work. But from there, we're now starting our first real serious partnership discussions, which is exciting because it looks like every single one of these conversations and every single one of these partners, they're shaped, like they're turning out to be something really unique and different. So, I mean, worst case scenario is none of these actually lead into a real partnership with a signed contract, but I don't believe so. But best case scenario is we have a really diverse range of super aligned, amazing partners that we're gonna do great things together. So I don't want to overpromise. I don't want to say too much yet, but the conversations that we're having currently, they look fairly promising, and you'll hear the updates over the next months. The third thing we've done is we've done more internal work on getting the work group set up to be an actual circle. So what we've done is we wrote an extensive role description because we want to onboard new members. I think the role description is currently being shared by the marketing circle, and it's also up on the community website, so you can already go and apply if you think, oh, I'd be a great fit for the business development circle, or I just want to read what exactly the requirements are. Then you can check out the posts on the community website, and I can also share it here. And then just yesterday we had a discussion to figure out how much budget we want to allocate to the work group, which is really important. It's something we hadn't done up until now. So that's another very important step in the direction of becoming a real circle, is obviously the 6 months budget. So yeah, I think that was our highlights from July. And yeah, we'll keep you updated on the outcomes of the partnership discussions. Thank you. If you have questions, feel free to ask.
Right, awesome. Any questions for Judith? I will add the link here in case anyone wants to apply. But meanwhile, questions, anything, any remarks? I guess no. I see some people clapping, but no remarks. Well, thank you so much, Judith, for the update. Sounds exciting, and a long road to go through, because these partnerships always take a lot of time.
Very long road. You have to be very patient. Also, we want to take it slow and make sure they are actually aligned. So we want to know what type of mission do they have? What are their values? What have they done so far? Are we truly aligned? I mean, we really do not want to rush into partnerships. So yeah, it may be, we don't know, it may be a few months until the first one is completely finalized, or it may go a lot faster, but we definitely do not want to rush.
Yeah, sounds like a good approach. And yeah, if you get just one partnership, it's already amazing. So yeah, congrats. We have Vanny with the hand up. Hello, Vanny.
Hi, yeah. Hi, Judith. I'm just really curious about the process for finally deciding a partner, because I know that in the past there has been like community-wide discussions about what a partnership would, who would be a good partner and blah, blah, blah. Is it going to be decided kind of internally within the circle, or is there going to be some sort of process where the community signs it off in any way?
Yeah, so how we currently have it set up is that we worked out internally in the circle, we worked out a fairly long document with the criteria of what we would like a partnership to look like. But we also took in account the discussions that we had with the community beforehand. But currently the process that it is an internal conversation. But if the community says, hey, we really want to be involved, then I think we could most likely come up with a process to involve the community. Either way, when a partnership would be either close to be finalized or finalized, we would likely share it in the community, and then based upon the feedback, if there's pushback, I mean, we would definitely take that into consideration. But yeah, right now we don't have a process to fully involve the community. But I think we're definitely open to designing something like that. I mean, for example, the circle could pre-filter, and then we could give a little summary to the community and see what they think. Do you have anything in mind, how it could be, how the process could look like?
Not off the top of my head, but what you're saying sounds like it would be a good approach. Yeah. Maybe it's something we should all think about a little bit, because it is so internal, and it's about the relationship that you build with, and it might throw people off if it's like, right, we have to take it to the community right now. But it would be good to kind of get some engagement or buy-in from everybody to, yeah, I mean, it feels like something to
Yeah. Yeah, at which stage do you think this should happen? Do you think this should happen right from the beginning, or should we have a bunch of discussions with them first and see if there's even alignment, and then if it looks like they could become a partner, then present it in the town hall or in the all hands?
Yeah,
Or
it feels
put
like
out a
that's
statement?
yeah, it feels like that's the way to go. And it's great that you're using like previous conversations that the community's had in general about partnership. But yeah, I don't think it would be productive to be asking the community when you're not even sure if someone's interested. But it's hard to say
Yeah.
what would be the best moment, because if you've got really far along the road and then you ask the community and the community says no, that makes everything horrible. So
Yeah, it's also really difficult to tell a partner, oh, wait, we have to ask our entire community if it's even a go ahead. I mean, they would probably be a bit like, but I mean, it is a decentralized program, so I suppose they would have to accept that.
Jan?
I suppose we could have at some point some simple consent status where there is an opportunity for the wider community, if they see an objection, to make that clear. It could be, for instance, that we have a blind spot, or we or the business development circle has a blind spot. They are not aware of certain things that have been going on at a partner, and then having the wisdom of the community could help. On the other hand, the way that we are working on partnerships right now, I think it would be very rare that we would get into a situation where Judith and the business development circle will propose a partner having used their own common sense and so on, and that the whole community would say no. I think this is what the process that we had before came from a situation where these partnerships were more or less thrust upon us by another entity in Singularity Net that also had other metrics for success. So and then that can easily give a little bit of friction. But here, since we from Deepfunding are in control and searching and selecting and targeting the right kind of partners from the beginning, it would be an exception, I think, if something would be blocked. But it would be a good hygienic measure to just have that process. Because as I said, we might miss something. Maybe there's been a huge scandal or fraud or whatever that we are not aware of, and some community member knows, and it would be helpful to have that awareness.
And also, I think it's also interesting for the community buy-in, right? Because Judith and you guys are doing a lot of work and you know the partner well. And maybe sharing some information on that, it also makes the community feel excited about it, because it might happen that you say, hey, we're going to partner with these guys, and you're super excited about it, and the rest of the people are like, okay. But having some conversation around it, I think it changes, right? It makes everyone excited.
Yeah, so we had this NDA process because we wanted to also protect the candidates. So if there's a no, that could be a brand reputation issue. Hey, they are not allowed in Deepfunding. Well, maybe today that won't make too much of an impression, but a year from now that will be a big thing. And actually, it took us a long time. At some point there were some partners on the verge of partnering, and then things happened and they went away and there were no. So there was a lot of silence. I remember vaguely that after that period, I actually did have some discussions in that channel. But then out of the 10, 15 people who had that NDA or who were in that channel, only 2 or so reacted. So maybe it was the way it was presented, maybe it was because of the long silence or whatever. But we should think about that whole process and renew it and rethink it a little bit.
Where Fanny with the ends up?
Yeah, just a kind of related issue that I was just thinking about. I don't know, Judith, like what kind of organizations you've been talking to, but I'm wondering when they're organizations that have a community of their own. I'm thinking be interesting to think about, if the partnership goes ahead down, further down the track, how we connect up well with their communities. Because I do think sometimes we think, oh yeah, well they'll just come in and they'll be part of Deepfunding, but they will probably have the allegiance to their community and they're not going to just come and join us. So it's about how we foster connections between the two communities, which will probably stay separate to some extent. But, you know, it's stuff like events, getting involved with having like a, you know, a town hall where we all get together or what, you know, that kind of stuff. We've got to bear it in mind, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, that was part of almost all the discussions we had with partners. Like some of the first things that they brought up and we also brought up was, is there a way for our communities to merge, or that we can benefit from each other's community? It was definitely, it's not just about them using the Deepfunding platform. The discussion about can we provide value for each other's communities was always one of the first things we discussed. So, and I suppose it's going to look different for every single partner. Some may want to merge the communities completely, where we do a lot of stuff together. Some others may just want to give us an offer and we're giving them an offer and invite them to maybe one single event or one single, I don't know, something. But yeah, it's definitely, we're keeping that in mind.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Judith, Vanny, everyone involved in the conversation, Jan. And I guess if there's no more questions, we'll move on to the next circle. And for the next circle, we have operations, which I believe is going to be Victor presenting.
Yeah, that would be me. Give
You
me
don't
like.
need me. I guess you don't need me to share the screen, right?
Please do, please do.
You
I'm on
do?
mobile. Yes.
Okay, okay. Let me find it. All right. Can you see it?
Yeah. So yeah, the operation circle, it might seem very short, but it has been a lot of work to do. The number one thing that we did this month was we concluded on how the contract is going to be like, and we actually selected a contract platform. So we are using e-signatures as I think the last time we actually had a contract signature was via DocuSign, something like that. But now we are using e-signatures, and then we had to imbibe or impute the contract into e-signatures and make placeholders for this contract so that it's just easy to fill in and do it manually. Currently, it's still manual. Probably we are going to make it automated. But for the BGI teams, we were able to send out their contracts, and we have 7 out of 10 of them signed. 2 have been withdrawn because of milestone changes. And out of those 2, one of them, I guess it's BGI that should come and give this explanation. 2 has been withdrawn because of milestone changes, and 1 hasn't been signed yet. That's like the matrix for that. Number 2 is the operation support continuance. Of course, we have been supporting the community. My DMs are always flooded. Mayor, I did not get paid for last week. What's going on? My payment was short. Especially from somebody like Love. Love always disturbs me. Why is my payment short? Why? So yeah, I always have people flooding my DMs asking me for, and I'm always supporting them like that. Love, sorry for mentioning your name actually. Number 3 is the half-yearly report. So we did our half-yearly last week, right? And the matrix and then sending of these reports to coordinators to fill it in and all that, everything was from the operation circle. And that alone has taken a lot of our time because it was a lot to do this month, and coupled with the fact that there is a lot of circles right now, or work groups per se. So it was a lot of work, to be honest. And I'm glad that was successful as well. And we also finalized our social share feature. So now blogs that are published on the Deepfunding website can be automatically shared to Telegram, LinkedIn, or social media, even Twitter, I think. You can just automatically share it to these platforms directly from the website if they are being published. And continuous operation support documentation. So we in the circles, I mean, there were a lot of operations support procedures that were not previously documented. Well, most of the newly built platforms by Rojo. So we are working hand in hand with Rojo and then other processes that we feel like needs to be communicated to the entire community. So we are working on documenting that and making sure all that information goes out and we are not keeping any information to ourselves. So yeah, that is everything that we have been working on this past month.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mayor. We have Ubio with the hands up. Thanks, Ubio. That was quick. I don't even need to ask if there's questions.
Yeah, thank you, Rafael. Okay, so I just want to bring up a concern. I think it might have been brought up, is it 3 or 4 months ago? I didn't observe it in the last half yearly report, so I want to bring it up. For some of us, we are actually concerned with how to track a lot of other initiatives that are not necessarily circles yet. There are a lot of ongoing activities in Deepfunding, and it seems we only get to get reports on circles activity. So we are quite concerned. How do we get that report? How do we get to know what is going on, the finances that is being spent in these places, what they've done, what are they, like, yeah, just that. What is the mechanism so far for that level of accountability?
I don't know if I should leave this for Jan to answer, but one of the things that we are doing right now, since after the 6 months report, was we are trying to collate everyone's report so that we can get the total number of expenditures or requested budgets for these circles over the next 6 months. And then there are other expenses. I don't know if it's basically expenses you're talking about. There are other expenses that has happened that are not circle related. For instance, payment for trip to Geneva, and basically some other payments like that were not recorded in circles. Other initiatives that are being undertaken by the funding team itself. I think it's going to be Jan or Rafael that will be presenting that part, maybe retrospective for the last 6 months and what we should expect for the next 6 months. When is there going to be a new round and all those kind of initiatives? I feel like that's what you're talking about, right? Well, I don't think that is going to come from the operations circle. I don't know.
All right. Does that answer your question? Jan, you want to add, please?
So Ubio, before I give my perspective, what particular information are you missing apart from circles? Or
Okay, for example, I'm asking this with respect to work groups. Are there ongoing work groups that we are not aware of? What are they doing? What is the report from that side? What are the expenses? All of that. So I'm talking about work groups. Maybe in the future, not now, it will also include labs and probably any other initiative around that, right? So that's I'm asking with respect to that.
Very, very good question. And I have the same question, to be honest. Actually, I already wrote it down before you mentioned this. And it's a discussion I have or I need to have. I started briefly with Rafa, also with Rama and others. I think so there's work groups. Well, we already had one work group here presenting their things. So I think generally work groups in meetings like this are, well, depending maybe a little bit on the type of work group, are often treated as a circle. If it's a beginning circle, then they will also report here, like Judith did for instance, and documentation has done for a long time. If it's a very particular work group for a particular topic, where I don't think we have one like that right now, then we need to think about it. However, what has been on my mind and what I've also raised in a number of occasions is that we're missing the product view here. And we are getting more and more product teams working. So labs is an example. We have the portal site where things are going on. It would be great to have some reports on that. We have the community website with a different team, which might also bring about a hackathon site. We will have a deep initiatives umbrella site also by the portal team. We are working on an academy, Deepfunding Academy, and I hope that will be a team in itself. Well, there are more things underway. There's the back office, which we are outsourcing. So all these things, yeah, I think would benefit from also a regular report, either monthly or at least quarterly or whatever makes sense. And the financial thing could be one, but I'm mostly like these reports interested in the learnings and the new features and the things that are coming up. I think the whole program doesn't always have enough visibility on all the things that we are building. So yeah, I would like to improve that. I'm not quite sure how. I'm not sure if we should do it within this call because it will be even longer and people will be bored to death before we get to the end. But maybe we can have, with some frequency, a separate call like this one on all the product teams and the product roadmap, etc., that we're doing. I think that would be a great idea also to get how do you call it? Well, visibility. Let's call it that. I was looking for another word. So yeah, good point. Yeah, and on the health yearly report, maybe a small note there. The thing, last time we had this whole report with budgets and everything in it, but then we were a little bit shy of publishing it to the world. This time we'll have two separate parts. We'll have the bigger report and a smaller one, I imagine, but operations is working on that. With all the numbers in it and the budget, which will include the funding budgets, etc. I see no objections sharing everything with all circles here, but especially the funding budgets, etc. Maybe we don't want to send out in the world, but keep semi-internal. So that's more on the number crunching.
Yeah, I would say it would be cool to have a call, maybe like the half-yearly report, but for product. And like Vanny is suggesting, maybe we could have a similar dashboard to the ones we have for the hubs when we do the half-yearly report, but for the product. I think overall the dashboards are interesting, can be
Well,
informative.
I would say roadmap, and we need that on the website as well. I think that may be more useful than a dashboard. So, what is the pipeline of functions? And we can do that over multiple domains or areas or whatever, and then say these are the things that we've done, and these are the things that are coming up, like a backlog, and that we can make also public, and we should make public, and I want to make that public, probably on deepinitiatives.ai. That's very important. So yeah, we're getting more. We're doing more. We're having more teams. Another thing here, which I also raised a few times over the past week or so. We are having the ticketing system for our project, open project board, which is great, but it's right now, as far as I understand, mainly from one circle to another. And there's not yet a good way for a circle to create a ticket for instance, the community side team, which would be very obvious, very needed, I think, to have that functionality. Part of the reason is that we don't have the entity yet of a product team of sorts. We have circles, and we had a few people contracted on WordPress, but that was always a little bit isolated. But now we're getting multiple teams. We'll get a team on ideation and AI for peace. At least that's we're trying to have that. That's in the work. So yeah, we also need to add that dimension to our internal communication and make that easier. And I really want the all circles to become yeah, more involved in what we're doing, especially on the community websites, deepcommunities.ai. I think we'll have that URL at some point. And then also even take ownership of it. And then it wouldn't be me so much anymore thinking about what would be the next cool feature, but it would be all of you deciding together what is the next cool feature and what is priority, etc. So yeah, it needs some work on the structure of the program, how we fit all of that in. It's a conversation I am having with Rafa. But yeah, very, very much needed. I agree.
Andrea?
Thank you. Regarding the internal communication, we've been thinking on having a newsletter for the community. So we probably could receive these type of informations, like who's creating a new work group or etc., whatever is happening in the community, and we can educate people in that way, like inform them. I think that could also be a possibility.
And when you say community, now you mean the all circles, right? And not the wider community.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's internal communication.
Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah, yeah. Let's think about it. I think there are. I had this experience the other week. It was on Friday. There was this meeting with all coordinators, and yeah, there were just 2 or 3 people showing up. And I thought, yeah, maybe having calls where I or Rafael, whatever, talk about all these things isn't the best way. And indeed, the idea occurred to me as well. Maybe something like a newsletter or some other medium where we can share. Well, we have the all circles, but maybe that's not always the best way. So yeah, I'm really open to that. So I don't have to bore you with big meetings like this, but maybe we could have a different means of spreading that information across the community and from all sides. Maybe even what we're doing today is something that we could do more in a newsletter instead of having each team do a presentation. I don't know. Food for thought, I would say.
Yeah, maybe something to reflect. Although I like to see people's faces when they come here, they present and they're forced to turn on the camera almost. All right. All right, thanks, Ian. I hope if there's no more questions about it, good question, Ubi. I think it's a relevant topic overall. And thanks also to Andrea for sharing more insights on what can be done. So that being said, I think we can move on to the documentation work group. And we'll have Anthony. Are you here? I don't know if you're here, Anthony. I can see you or hear you right now. Let me just keep scrolling through the list.
Yeah.
Yes, you're here. All right, awesome. Do you want to share the screen?
Yes, thank you.
Or do you want me to share it?
Let me please.
You're breaking a little bit, and I don't know if you just got removed from the call. Yeah, I cannot see Anthony anymore. Anthony? All right. So while Anthony is struggling with this network, I think we can potentially move forward and then come back to Anthony afterwards. And after Anthony, I believe we have the dev outreach. Is that correct? Let me check exactly. Dev outreach, which will be Ubio presenting. Ubio, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Do you want to share or you want me to keep sharing?
Yeah, either is fine. I'm also here. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is our report for the month of July. And So the first one we have here is what we call the post-hackathon finalist onboarding, which is currently ongoing. In what we love to describe as post-hackathon activities, so we have pre-hackathon, we have hackathon, and then post-hackathon, right? We have held several workshops in preparation for this stage, and now the stage has begun, right? So we did a lot of workshops preparing, making sure that the fail margin for this process is actually reduced, right? So so prior to this, we had several workshops. I'm sure we've had at least 4 workshops with the onboarders, ensuring that their efficiency is far improved, right, before we actually began. And then we also had sessions with the finalist winners, where we actually paid them up with some of the experts who are currently in a race to onboard the winning projects into the marketplace, right? So that's currently where we are with respect to the hackathon. The second thing is that we've already started discussion on the next hackathon and what will it be. Discussions are currently ongoing with all interested parties and stakeholders on our next hackathon. And obviously, AI for Good really gave us a lot of quality leads, which are also part of the stakeholders. We are also trying to find common grounds and trying to see how, what we can do. This is likely going to be a physical one. We are in discussion on themes, potential partners, best locations, etc. for this next hackathon. Obviously, we're going to keep us informed and updated as the process progresses. The next one is we are currently understanding our next phase of growth, especially as outlined in our H2 report. We have realized the need to recruit much more persons to our team. We have just shortlisted the first set of persons and will be giving us updates on the process. So yeah, we've actually reduced the numbers of applicants from about close to 100 that we had, and we've shortlisted about 15. And then from that 15, we'll shortlist 5, and from the 5, we are going to get down to the 1 or 2 persons we're going to be working down with. Yep, this is the update from our side. We are open to take questions.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Ubio. 100, you got 100 applicants? That's what you said?
Sorry?
You said you got how many applicants?
That is from last year, like everybody that has been applying to anything deaf outreach.
Okay. But that's crazy still. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, we were able to separate all of that and bring out what we want.
Cool. Amazing. Yes, Jan?
I don't have a question, but I do have a remark. First of all, I want to congratulate the Developer Outreach Circle with the achievement of now, after having trained onboarding people, now for the first time having been able to match them with people that need onboarding and get that system going. I think that's an important milestone. And train the trainer and make our community also be supportive for other people. If we can scale that up, that would be a great thing. And the other thing is that I had some, I won't spoil any beans, Ubio, but I had some interesting conversation with you about this next hackathon and putting it on quite a next level. And I like that kind of ambition a lot. So let's see what will come out of that one. So well done.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jan. Just to comment on the first one you said, we already, I think the community is beginning to start getting to the mood right now of reaching out to the Deaf Outreach Circle for onboarding of the project. I think last week we had a call with one of the project on BGI. They needed some help with their platform, and then they reached out. We were able to get on a call and solve their problem for them. So I think we are currently beginning to get that culture, and hopefully more of the community would imbibe that.
Wonderful.
Right, awesome. Thank you, Ubio. Seems like great work and exciting things coming in the future. And with that being said, I think we can try the documentation work group again. Anthony, I saw you here. Are you able to speak?
Yeah.
Your sound is breaking a little bit. At least for me. It's breaking a lot now. Yeah, we can't really hear you, Anthony. I know you're trying to speak, but all right, Anthony. Well, I guess we'll try to move on to the next circle, and then we'll try to come back to you. Also, if there's other people from the documentation work group who want to cover for Anthony as he's having some network issues, that's also fine. Well, we'll figure that out. I think we have here the review circle. And it's either Paulo or Assad who's going to be presenting.
Hello, guys. I'll be presenting.
Oh, you will be okay. I stand corrected. Do you want me to give you sharing permissions, Quasi?
No, this is fine. You can share for me.
All
Thank
right. Okay. I hope we have the most up-to-date version.
Yes, we do. All right. So, hi once again, everyone. So before I present, I just want to start by saying that every day presents a new opportunity for us to learn, grow, and evolve. And we at the Review Cycle, we genuinely value and appreciate every piece of feedback and constructive criticism shared with us. At the heart of it all, our collective goal always remains the same. That is to work in the service for the greater good of deep funding. So to begin with our presentation, the first one is the RFP reviews. So the RFP reviews recently concluded, and it was focused on 4 highly specialized and forward-looking research areas. The first one being advanced graph tooling, AGT. Second one being exploring novel hardware architectures and computer paradigms for AGI. Developing a framework for AGI motivation systems is the third. And fourth is, give me a sec, developing a framework for AGI motivation systems. So to ensure high quality, well-informed evaluations, we selected a panel of 12 reviewers, each of them with the expertise aligning to one or more of the RFP topics. The reviewers were selected based on their demonstrated understanding of the SingularityNet technologies. And to facilitate the process and ensure consistency in scoring and accountability, one of the coordinators, Assad, developed a comprehensive review tracking sheet, which was essential in aggregating all reviewer feedback. It calculated the average scores of each proposal as well, and it tracked the reviewer participation and performance. Moving on to the second topic of discussion, that is the pre-crisp idea filtering. So as part of the crisp idea rounds, the review cycle worked closely with the core team of CRISP, to come up with a pre-crisp team. There are a total of 2 batches of the pre-crisp reviewers, 5 members in each batch, and we were tasked with evaluating 142 submitted ideas. So to support this filtering effort, a tailored evaluation form was created, enabling the reviewers to consistently score proposals across defined criteria. Importantly, the CRISP team also collaborated with the review cycle to revise and improve the filtering tool. That is a form we created with AppScript. Incorporating feedback from early usage to make the form more intuitive and better. So the third one is the current milestone review. And yes, we are still reviewing milestones, and it continues to be a cornerstone of accountability within the deep funding. In this reporting cycle, currently we have in our review dashboard on open projects, we have 14 milestones that have been submitted for review. 27 have been successfully reviewed and closed, and then 7 remain under active review with the remaining scheduled for assessment shortly. So that is it for our third topic of discussion. Then the last one, that is collaboration with Deep Academy. So yes, I'm the person leading the Deep Academy initiative, and the review circle is offering their support to launch the development of not Deep Academy, but some beginner courses. So as part of the initial contribution, the review circle is creating, or in collaboration with Deep Academy, is curating 2 foundational courses, that is how to write a successful proposal and how to review proposals and milestones. These courses aim to equip learners with the essential skills for meaningful participation in deep funding, whether as proposers, reviewers, or project contributors. So that is it for the review cycle. Your questions are welcome, by the way.
All right, thank you so much. Any questions for Kwasi? Any remarks?
Well, maybe from the product point of view, but actually Rama would be better positioned to talk about that. You talked about filtering on ideation, etc., and would be so interesting right now to also show what is being done on the product area there. So Rama and his team on the AI for Peace website, they created AI tooling for that, and they also created a kind of CMS below, as they call it. It's a dashboard for ideas, so you can see what ideas are coming in, who has reviewed them, etc. I don't remember the exact details, but actually making the toolkit to make reviewing ideas more easy, especially that first filtering. So yeah, I think great things are being done there. Maybe on the topic of the academy, I think it's getting more push than I expected. So yeah, there are a lot of interesting people flocking around and coming to the academy. I can see enthusiasm from a number of people in SingularityNet, such as Sergey, Ben. I think they're all enthusiastic about the idea, and we're working on something there, Egu, that I have to inform you about, which might what might help a lot in the content creation, basically, and also in the tooling, by the way. So we're getting this on a higher level very quickly, and I hope we can keep that momentum. And yeah, maybe at the end of the year or something, we will have a functioning academy with the first few courses there, like the ones that Egu mentioned, but maybe also 1 or 2 on some AGI topics, and then we can build that out. So yeah, I'm very, very, very excited by this initiative. I didn't think it would get so much traction so fast. And if we do manage to make this as big as we now are thinking it will be, Egu, then yeah, it would be an important pillar under deep funding as well, because we talked a little bit, I talked a little bit with Ben also about the URL. And I said, well, at some point I even got the URL something like AGI Academy or ASI Academy or something, I don't remember. But we landed on keeping it Deep Academy. And I think that's important if we have a lot of AGI curriculum and content there, and a lot of maybe not just by the internal team, but hopefully also by other contributors out there, AI researchers, PhDs, professors, etc. Then again, that word, the branding element of having that academy as part of our deep funding ecosystem will also be very important, and it will be an attraction point to a certain type of audience as well, and it will give us credibility, and it's yet another place for people to go to and a reason to go to deep funding. And yeah, then it will also tie into all kinds of other things like lab. We can connect that to the academy, and we can connect courses to RFPs and ideation. So everything is interconnected, and yeah, if we can make all of these things or 50% of these things successful, then yeah, we have great times ahead. So thanks, Egu. Thanks for anybody else who's contributing, and yeah, keep your eyes open for what's going to happen there.
Right, awesome. Thanks, Egu. Any more questions for the review circle or remarks? I guess the silence means no. Paulo is coughing and saying, okay. Awesome. And yeah, so I guess we can just one last try, the only time where we are just missing the documentation. Work group, I think Anthony is not here. I cannot see him. So I was wondering if we have anybody here from the documentation work group who wouldn't mind reading through the yeah, the points.
I don't mind reading it out if that
All
helps.
right. Do you want me to share?
Yeah.
Right.
And let me
Thank
just
you, Vanny.
find it myself, actually. Right. Yeah, so number one, the proofreading support function launch and scaling, that's a new initiative. It's taken a little while to get off the ground. It's not as complete as maybe the report suggests, but there is a proofreading support group which has been launched out of documentation work group to assist circles in improving the quality of their public facing materials, but we're kind of limiting ourselves to just making sure it's not got typos in it, really. Yeah, so coordination, as it says, is a bit of a challenge at the moment, but we should get it off the ground sooner than later, let's just say. But we've established a team of 5 people, 4 of whom are already in documentation work group and 1 who isn't. So it's kind of spreading beyond documentation. And we're looking to set up tracking on Open Project, but there's just a few questions about, is it possible to have it as a subgroup, or does it have to be its own thing on Open Project or whatever? But yeah, there's a document floating around that defines what we do and won't do, and our kind of dual review process, so that one person looks at something and then somebody else looks at it to make sure. So as soon as we can, we hope to be able to show people how you can request to have something edited or proofread. Next thing is the charter and process documentation for Documentation Circle. I mean, at the moment, it's still technically a work group, but it's becoming a circle. And we have worked on an internal charter to define the role of the Documentation Circle as it will be as a support structure. And the new charter emerged from discussions with Rafael and others about the transition from work group to circle. So we're aligning all our internal processes with Deepfunding's broader governance models, including decentralization, consent-based decision-making, and contributor autonomy. So we probably should have linked those docs. I'll try and find them in a minute and put them in the chat for people. But yeah, that's all ongoing. So hopefully next time we report will be a circle. And then point 3 is recognition of external feedback and open discussions. So we acknowledge and plan to address open feedback on important documents such as the one that Rafael created about knowledge management and single source of truth, which is kind of the cultural framework for how we work with knowledge management. And I should say that when we become a circle, I think it looks like we're going to be called the Knowledge Management Circle rather than documentation. So yeah, we've got a few points that we kind of internally have been discussing, which are kind of beyond the scope of that document, but which look at things like how we look at the life cycle of a document and how we know when something's obsolete and blah, 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 blah. So we'll be discussing them and kind of raising them in some way. But that's basically what we've been up to this month.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Vanny. Any questions, any remarks for the onboarding work group soon to be circle? For the documentation work group soon to be circle?
Or knowledge management, even.
That's already a very long sentence. We need to keep it simple. How are you, Paulo? Please, Paulo.
I have a question because I don't know a lot about this topic, and how this will impact the review circle. That's my very direct question. How do you think this can impact the review circle?
Sorry, I didn't quite hear. How does it impact what?
How do you think this documentation, the propositions you are doing, will impact in the review circle in the short term? Because to try and integrate all things you are creating and with your workflow.
Right. Sorry,
Right.
I'm not sure I'm getting the right end of the stick on that question, but I think the knowledge management circle will impact on all the circles. And what we're finding is that everybody's doing their own documentation and producing their own resources. We're not aiming to produce stuff for people. We're kind of aiming to make sure it's managed right and make sure it's discoverable, that people can find it. And I guess making sure that there's a proper updating cycle so that it, because sometimes people do a load of work to produce documentation and then it doesn't get reviewed and it goes out of date. So that's the kind of stuff that we're going to aim at doing. But with the stuff specifically that Review Circle is doing, we're seeing that kind of material as ending up on the MK Docs version of what used to be called DF Book, which was a Gitbook-based resource. Yeah, so we're kind of at the stage at the moment of looking at Review Circle's documentation, which is now quite old, and that's not your fault, that's our fault. But we need to kind of check it over and then get back to you. And I guess this is kind of about how we hope to work as well. It's almost like we'll get it right together with you, and then it'll be your role to keep it updated. It's quite a nice little system where you can update it on a doc and that will update to MK Docs, which is just really snazzy. So we're kind of testing that at the moment and just making sure it all works. But yeah, the material that is on DF Book about Review Circle is very old. So we need to make sure it's up to date. Does that answer what you were asking?
Yeah. My question is because we create a lot of document, a lot of the knowledge. All new round we are learning new things. For example, the new FFP with SNET it's pushing us to raise our bar, so we need to create a different structure, different way to work. We try to document this in our way, or the thing we think is better.
Yeah.
And for myself, and I think for the circle, maybe all circles, it's important to have this very clear how you make this management of knowledge. Because, for example, if the 3 reviews we go out or something not there, the things cannot stop. So we're thinking like how create a continuity, but something we concern too is create a lot of document and not a lot of output. So we have a discussion all week, me, Igu, and Assad, Slate, how to balance the documentation, like a bureaucratic side, and the knowledge, and the practical job. And it's a good discussion. I like this topic. So if you need something from us, just ask.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we're going to be having to or wanting to reach out to all the circles and kind of do that. But yeah, definitely, I think it's Review Circle and it's operations who are producing documentation all the time that we want to kind of keep abreast of, make sure we've got a right version, and then we go from there. Yeah.
We had some initiative too. Maybe you can present next month about the standardization documentation we made inside to try to standardize all milestone input and output for teams and our teams. We can share this next time too. It'll be good.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Paulo, and thank you, Vanny, for adding this discussion. That being said, any more questions for the documentation. We have Ubio. Ubio, please go ahead.
Sorry, not for the documentation. This was actually for the review. I had it in mind, but I left it because I wanted us to rush through and we are done. Somehow the question is also a little bit related to the documentation, but not so. Most organizations, right? There is always a data that is always put out there to the funded proposals. It helps them to understand the process, and this data is always I think even schools do that, right? Analyzing what the admission rate is and all of that. So I want to know if because it would be a good thing to be published by Deepfunding or for us so that awarded teams can know what is the ratio or what's the rate so far that a proposer would get approved on the first review, right? What is that rate? And I'm saying that maybe it might look a little bit inconsequential, but I know how it can be suiting to awardees to understand that, oh, this is just normal process, that if it doesn't get passed, I'm not so terrible. Is the fact that this actually does exist. I think I was trying to check doing that research once, and I think it is 20% generally for an awardee to get approved on the first submission. So I would want to know if this is a metrics the review team is actually looking at, and if it is not, it's something that they should also look into, so that we can have this metric from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and how it pans out over time.
Yeah, this is a very important question, and the question because it's about how our work is transforming how can you adjust this bar of the level of what you are admitting as a award project, and this will impact by the end of the process what you will deliver as a final product or something, service, etc. And we are working on this data, and then usually when, for example, for BGI, it's around the very near this process, we try to adjust. It depends on the proposal, how the budget and the objectives, what you want to achieve. Something we are not admitting projects which don't have the minimum of the demand of where we're asked for. So these are rejected directly. For example, BGI had some kind of the people has the team was in the split decision. They have the opportunity to send a feedback like, okay, I can repair this or this. And I think the metric you were saying is very important to us to adjust the process. And now, for example, to give you an idea, this will fall on the way we are judging the process in the filtering. The reviews have to have the same level of the bar. It's complicated to say this, but for example, in RFP, we're working the SNET, we have some reviewers are very strict, very rigid, working, and the others are more flexible. So how can we judge the thing is good? So it's an important question. I don't know if I could answer you, but this metric we usually use to adjust the quality in the delivery. So it's a little bit by hand sometimes. So we try to put the highest, but when you see you can adjust, it's yeah, I think it's this. Maybe Rafael Jan can know more about this output on project. But when I were in this project, we try to raise the bar for everyone, and this rate of approval or no approval, it depends on the process. So I think BGI is like 30%, but each project is different.
Rubio, does that answer your question, or was it not really what you wanted?
To a large extent, yes. I think he has been able to get the essence of the question. I think that's the most important part of it.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Rubio. Thank you. Fanny.
Yeah, just on that one, Ubio, I mean, I really get why you want that as a metric, and it can be a really good onboarding thing if people feel like, oh yeah, I've got a chance to get approved, to get a project approved. However, I just think it can be a really misleading metric, because if you assess how many people get through first time, that's one thing. But if you were to check how many people who wrote their bloody project properly and filled in, said what was asked for at every stage, then it would be much higher, wouldn't it? So it can obscure the fact that people don't sometimes get approved first time because their project wasn't well written. And I think this ties into the whole thing with the academy and training people how to write a good proposal. So yes, it's an important metric, but I think we should be careful about just using it raw like that.
All right, we have Jan.
I second that, and want to add to it the metric. So when are we successful as a deep funding? If the percentage goes up or down, and I mean having a certain percentage, and suppose that the percentage goes down, it might be that we have fewer quality proposals coming in, or we have just more proposals coming in, and we have to be more critical in selecting them, which will be a very good thing. So there is some benefit in publishing that metric, but also on the purpose that if you are rejected, you can say, well, I'm not alone. There were 80% was rejected, and some of them were very good. So this is just a very high bar. So I'll try to do better next time. If we could get a metric on the quality of projects that are getting out, that are getting awarded, that would be a great thing. And then if we would see that the quality is continuously going up, however, how do you measure quality of a proposal? Not that easy. Actually, there is this one initiative, Paulo, that we discussed. I'm not sure how far we are with that, but we also would like to rate the quality of milestone deliveries of teams. So it's not just binary, you're approved or not. But if you're approved in the first time and you check all the boxes and you have a great report or deliverable, then you will get a higher grade. But if you only get approved after doing it 3 times, taking hours and hours extra of the review team and getting a lot of support, and finally we push you over the hurdle of the milestone, well, then you might get the binary one. Yeah, you manage the milestone, but you get a lower grade. And then at the end of the line, we could also grade the project delivery as a whole. So what was the final outcome? What do we think the quality is? And we think that will also say something, say actually a lot about teams, because it's not just whether you reach your milestones, but also the way that you go through it. That says a lot about the quality of the team.
Perfect. And I would like to add a point. I think this process I like wine, so like analog. For example, you see the soil, you see the fruits, you see the grapes. So you try to imagine how the wine will be by the end. So this is what looking for. So when the people bring the proposal, it has to be a good proposal, has to be all process carrying of this team. So for example, all reviews are instructed to have a feedback, positive feedback, not only criticize, say, okay, how can we improve for the next milestone? This moment to have a partial process with the team has 3 times the reject milestone. We open this project, a different way to treat this. We sit with the team and say, okay, guys, how can we finish this? Because we need the funding. As funding, we would like you finish your job because you are paid for this. You want money to finish your job, but you need to have an accord. So we adjust the milestone by the end to have a good feedback, what you want and what the team can deliver. And I think this will be more common because when we start a project, we have a direction. So you know what you want, but in research, things change, technology changes. So we have this rigid way to work, but to have to feel how teams are adapting. And how Jan put very well, when you see the milestone, the team is very compromised, want to work. So you see the milestone is different. The guy wrote, the guy draw, the guy tried to convince you he is working. When you take something, they don't put a line or some any document, you say this guy is not serious, and the way you are looking different. So maybe you cannot spend time with the team. So the idea is looking all process. It's important, these metrics, but the metric is final. Maybe I told this this meeting is by the end of the year, we can say, okay, how can we try to prevent, try to see what's going on by this process by the end. So it's like the wine, you know, you want to see what to go in the bottle, but you have to think about all process into there. And so this is what we're trying to do. But
Yeah.
take time. Take time. You need to learn a lot, man. It's a lot of things to do.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Paulo. Just to say, yeah, and I think I side more with Paulo on this. I feel like there is also a merit sometimes, right? I know that can be a little bit feeling inconsiderate, and especially with the time, the hours that the reviewers have to spend with also looking at these issues, because building sometimes is very funny. A lot happens. And I feel sometimes the real test of products is when it gets to the market. And that's when so pushing projects, ensuring that we get more products out there is actually a form of validation or rating in itself, because yeah, if let's say the reviewers are able to help this and we put it in the market and we suddenly realize that, wow, the market is saying yes to it, then yeah, even if we think it wasn't quality enough and the market is saying this is all we want, then yes, the market always wins. Yeah, so I think I side with that.
Yeah, and market, there's the marketplace, so it would be good to have more services onboarded on the marketplace as a kind of metric and end result. But we have this one team where I won't call names now, where we had, I'm just following it from a distance, but the team had in-depth sessions and feedback, etc., because they were critical, not so much. So the team checked most of the boxes, that they did what they promised, literally. But then if the question was, but how are you adding value with this? How does this mean anything? Yes, you literally did what you were asked, but what you're creating has no value. And in this case, you could, the argument was that you could have solved the same problem with a fraction of the effort by a much simpler method. And it was a very hard discussion. I think it's still not quite resolved, but yeah, and this is the kind of thing that we also want to surface. Whether a project really promises on their purpose, or delivers on their promise. Yeah. And that's also why we'll have those key success factors added to milestones. So it's not just stating what you will deliver, but also stating when the thing that you are delivering is actually going to be successful. But that's a metric, that's still paper. In the end, it will be also, it will need some kind of assessment as well.
All right. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't matter if you have a perfect product, if nobody wants to use it. It doesn't really matter, right? You can have a high quality deliverables, and then if it has no impact in the world, that's an issue. But part of innovation, you know, you never know. That's why 90% or 95% of startups fail, right? But yeah, with that being said, does anybody wants to add anything? I think we've gone through the entire circles, all the work groups and everything. So we're basically reaching the end. I think it was very positive discussions, which was nice. So please, guys, keep raising your hand, keep bringing in relevant topics like you did, even if it's not like directly related to something. This is what this call is for. And that being said, does anyone want to bring any topic before we go? I like the dance, Jan. I think we found out your hidden talent.
I just remembered one thing that I wanted to mention. I mentioned it in the coordinator circle, but maybe it's relevant for everybody. It's about a new funding, a variation on RFPs. So we have this thing in mind, which we call Deep Seed, which is like a fund, and won't get into that. A smaller variation would be that we create an RFP without a deadline. And it means that, for instance, we can say here we have an RFP, we assign 50K for a marketing project, we'll define the criteria, but anyone can submit anytime. And when whoever is assessing that RFP will indicate, will find a proposal that checks all the boxes, that is good enough, then they can award that proposal, and then that 50K will be reduced with the amount awarded. And that will continue until the whole amount is depleted. And then we can discuss whether we want to renew it or not. So the benefits of this would be that if we have a handful of RFPs like that, for anybody coming to the platform, there will always be something open to which they can propose. And it will also remove the awkwardness from having that deadline. And then maybe you're not completely happy with the results, but you still have to make a choice. And if you keep it open, well, then maybe the week after or the month after or whatever, this great thing will surface that could help. This could be a temporary solution that we will only have for a time until we have Deep Seed. It might also be that we'll find out that we want to keep that going. But the question that I asked is, do we actually have ideas for RFPs like this? If I would find 5 concrete proposals of circles that would say, this is what we would like to put in an RFP like that, and I'm also asking SingularityNet, by the way, and we think that would actually be useful and worthwhile to publish, then we will develop that functionality. But I want to avoid that we are developing that functionality and then afterwards we have no content for it and it's just sitting there. That would be a waste of time and effort. Doing this open-ended RFP, as I call it right now, but we probably need to find a better name, isn't that impactful. It's relatively easy, but it also requires process. So I'll be looking at Paolo here too, or maybe circles themselves if they want to publish it or together, I don't know, to bi-weekly look at, hey, what are the incoming things? And is there anything in there that we would like to award? No, then let's reject them and continue. So there's process and there's product development. And even though the impact of product development isn't very high, Deep Seed is much more impactful. I would still like to have an understanding if there's an appetite for this kind of thing. If we create it, will you be using it? To be honest, there are a number of functionalities that we have been creating for the community website, which I find hard to push out and make people use. And I want to avoid that ongoingly and in this situation as well, which is why I also think the circles need to have more ownership on what happens on the community website as a side note. So yeah, please let me know now or in the all circles or on a DM or whatever, whether you think, yeah, if we have it, I will use it, and this is the proposal, this is the kind of thing. You don't have to write it all out in all details, but this is the kind of thing for which it would be useful, and that I think I would probably create a proposal in the next 2 months or something like that. Questions? Okay, then one more observation to Andrea here. That idea of that newsletter was also sinking in, and I thought, wow, and then we have so much content in that newsletter, and people put a lot of effort in it. Should we keep it just for ourselves? I'm not sure. I think most things that we share in between each other would also be valid for a wider community, but we don't want to spam people with it. But maybe here's also a link with the community website. If we create that newsletter, we can find a way, a format to publish the same things on the community website. And if we do so, yeah, we'll always have a stream of useful and interesting things. And if anybody would go to that website, whether community member or partner or AI developer, then they would be impressed by all the dynamics and all the things that are going on and are being developed and being tested and so on. So I'm already embracing that idea and making it bigger. Sorry.
All right, awesome.
That's it.
Thanks, Jan. Yeah, I mean, I think the open-ended RFPs was already an interesting discussion on the coordinators channel, and hopefully it can continue. For the event circle, we don't see any ways yet to use it specifically, because I think even community hubs now, it's better, at least at this stage, to have specific timelines just because of onboarding. But who knows in the future? And maybe live events could be something that would be an interesting thing, but I don't know if that's going to continue or not. But if we have a budget for that, eventually the RFP could be an interesting way to do it. Yeah, and for marketing, I think it's interesting to have RFPs for marketing. I'm aware of the concerns of Judith, but I think with RFP you can check the quality, and we also have another advantage, that is the distribution, right? So like marketing pool, we had a distribution problem in the sense that maybe people would create videos or whatever content and they would distribute it or not depending on the proposal for a while, but then once the proposal was completed, the efforts stopped there. So that's a problem that now with circles and maybe aligning the RFPs with the circles can help continuing the distribution process of content that is useful. Yeah, that's it on my side. I don't know if anyone wants to add any comments. Anything? I guess not. Even Jan is silent.
It opens up some thoughts, but I'll leave it at this.
All right, awesome. I hope it's a good thought. All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your great inputs and insights. And a big thank you to everyone who turned on the cameras. It's really nice to see your faces. So yeah, we'll be here next week for the town hall. Hopefully we'll have some interesting things for you. We do have already some topics that look promising, but you'll know more when the time comes. So yeah, 6 p.m. UTC on Thursday. We would love to see you there. And just a big thank you to all the circles and to all the community members. You make this community amazing. So thank you all and have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.
Have a great rest of the week.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.